Let's talk about something that feels, well, just a little bit off, doesn't it? In an age where medicine can do things that seem like magic, so many of us are struggling. That's the core conflict we're digging into today. The massive clash between our ancient bodies and our super-modern world.
I mean, it's a huge paradox when you think about it. We have miracle drugs, robotic surgery, treatments for things that were a death sentence just a generation ago. So, what's the deal? Why are chronic illnesses on the rise? That's the puzzle we're going to try and solve together in this explainer.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to start by looking at what you might call the modern health paradox. It's this strange situation where our greatest medical achievements are happening at the exact same time our day-to-day health seems to be getting worse.
And hey, this isn't just a vibe or a feeling. The numbers are clear. We are seeing an absolute explosion of things like obesity, metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes, that deep, bone-crushing chronic fatigue, and of course, mental health disorders. These aren't just separate problems. They're symptoms of the same underlying issue. They are, you could say, the signature sicknesses of our time.
Okay, so what gives? Where did we take a wrong turn? Well, a huge part of the answer lies in understanding this really crucial difference, the growing gap between simply living a long time and actually living well. So first up, you've got lifespan. This one's pretty simple. It's just the number of years you're expected to live. In modern medicine, it has been an absolute rock star at this. It's tacked years, even decades, onto our lives by beating back infectious diseases and saving us from trauma. But then there's this other metric, Healthspan. And honestly, this is the one that really matters. This is the number of years we spend feeling good, being active, and not being held back by some chronic illness. And right here, this is where we're falling behind.
So, here's the bottom line, right? Medicine is fantastic at keeping us alive longer, but it's not always giving us more healthy years. We're adding on these extra years at the end of life, but too often those years are spent managing disease in and out of doctors' offices. We're getting more time, but we're losing out on quality.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this one fact just shatters a huge myth. We have this picture in our heads of our ancestors living these short, brutal lives. But the truth, from looking at their skeletons, is that if they survived the dangers of childhood, they often lived well into their 60s or 70s, and they did it with strong bones, mobility, and independence. They didn't just get old, they stayed vital.
So if they could be so healthy without any of our modern medicine, why are we struggling so much? It all comes down to a profound mismatch, a disconnect between the ancient body we inherited and the completely alien world we've built around ourselves.
Let's break down some of these mismatches. The first huge one is movement. Our bodies, our muscles, our metabolism, they are all designed for near constant low-level motion. Walking, carrying, digging, just moving. And what do we do today? We sit. For hours and hours, we live in chairs. To our biology, that's a massive shock to the system.
Mismatch number 2, our food. It's a big one. Our genes evolved expecting real food that comes from the ground, from trees, from animals. Instead, we're feeding our ancient bodies food that comes from a factory, ultra-processed, packed with sugar, things that send our insulin on a crazy roller coaster that our bodies were just never designed to handle day after day.
And then there's the third big one, stress. Our whole fight-or-flight response system is brilliant for short-term physical threats. Think about it. You see a predator, you get a huge surge of cortisol and adrenaline, you run away, and then it's over. You recover. But modern stress isn't a tiger in the bushes. It's a 24/7 drip of work emails, traffic, news alerts, and social media notifications. It never ends. So our bodies stay stuck in that high alert state, and it just wears us down.
Okay, so we've got these huge disconnects in movement, in diet, in stress. But here's the thing. They're not just a random collection of problems. They all point to one single, incredibly powerful scientific idea that explains pretty much everything.
And that idea is called the evolutionary mismatch theory. This is it. This is the key that unlocks the whole modern health paradox.
So what's the theory actually saying? It's pretty simple, really. You could think of it like this. We are all walking around with hardware that was designed for the Stone Age, but we're trying to run 21st century software on it. Our genes were coded over millions of years for a world of walking and whole foods, but in what is basically the blink of an eye in evolutionary time, we've changed absolutely everything about our environment. All these chronic diseases we see, they're basically the error messages popping up from this massive system conflict. The only way to fix it is to close that gap. So that, of course, brings us to the most important question. What on earth do we do about it? If the problem is a fundamental mismatch, then the solution has to be a realignment. It's about bringing our modern lives back into harmony with our ancient biology.
And the science gives us a really clear playbook here. This isn't about throwing away modern life, it's about integrating smarter habits. It means making movement a part of your whole day, not just a 1-hour punishing session at the gym. It means making real, whole foods the foundation of your diet. It means getting sunlight in your eyes in the morning to set your body's clock. And it means finding real ways to decompress from the constant stress of modern life.
And I really want to be crystal clear about this. This is not about romanticizing the past or trying to live like a caveman. It's actually the opposite. It's about using the best of modern science to understand the ancient instruction manual our bodies came with, and then using that knowledge to thrive in this crazy modern world.
And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. Our amazing medical technology. It's the best emergency service in the world. It's our safety net. But real, vibrant, day in, day out health, that isn't something you get from a pill. It's something you build every single day by living in a way that respects your own biological design.
So that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. What if the secret to a healthier future isn't about inventing the next miracle drug, but about looking back, about rediscovering the timeless wisdom that's already coded into our very own DNA? By understanding where we came from, we might finally figure out where we need to go.